Welcome back. Let us continue with MSQ, shall we? For tedious timing, as always, Akira Tataru was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you would be so kind, then. Oh, that's why I forgot to press. There we go. Oops. I am such. There we go. Absolutely, you'll be pleased to hear that Riol and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Philemon helped me to escape with the Crystal Braves in Limsa Lominsa, only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound for Rads at Han, where she's been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Yada and Papamo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane, of all places, Riol thinks they must have disposed of them after escaping the Royal Promediad. Yes, that would make sense. They could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Minfilia? I'm afraid I have nothing new to share about those two, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we enlisted the services of a Charlian scholar, one of the students, Baldicion, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of these students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first, we must attend to a more pressing matter. Sir Almeric has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not simplify my brain what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Akira, I suggest we proceed to Congression forthwith, and mayhap we can meet with the scholar afterwards. Agreed? In that case, I will. I think I will. I think I'll return to the Forgotten Night for now. Things are liable and fall apart if I'm gone too long. You know. Well.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities. I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I, too, had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number questioned our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order. But such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Shrine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Shrine? You would speak with Vidofnir, then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor? Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? At tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
I know little of the lands these dragons call home. This next one, had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess I myself once shuddered at the thought of it, yet even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? But ere we set forth, Akira and I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well, I shall see to my preparations. Then let us go and bid farewell to Tataru, Akira. Bum, 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 bum. Son of a bitch, it's at the Forgotten Night. Play hell. Forgotten Night. There we go. My brain's not working. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. A diplomatic mission to annex Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence, but should your meeting with Vidofnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Yustola and Idoshire. She'll be there to receive our guests. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... Time permitting, as I said, we shall endeavor to join Yustola, but if we cannot pray pass on our regards. Let us be off, Akira. We have kept the first commander waiting long enough. Boom. You are ready then? Good, so am I. Alright, let's select this one. The path is long but known to us. From Falcon's Nest, we shall cross the western highlands and make the tail feather in the Dravanian forelands. Then we can stop and rest and replenish our supplies. Questions? If not, then the stables await. Let's go to Tail Feather. Yeah, my brain's not working today. Oh wait. I've always mentioned that the first time I set foot upon Dravanian soil would be at the head of an army. And here I am, ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Full well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past, though it was I who first proposed recruiting Yisal to our cause. I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them, and for a long time after that. Here was a woman with the blood of the innocents on her hands, men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in the common cause. At our side, she fought in the service to that greater good, even onto her dying breath. And while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alfredo, yet who can say what might come to pass should our negotiations bear fruit? Yes, of course, we must press on to a next run. A next run? If you will follow me. Do. Give me one moment. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of Ysel. But this one I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit, Vidonir. May I introduce you, Lucia, the first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Amric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in the endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth, that King Thorin and his Knights 12 did fully betray and murder the great Rim Ratatosker, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, a truth which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light and the Azure Dragoon and Ysel. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace could at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Ysel once did, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more, beyond the eyes of my people in Ishgard. Before my idea. A most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, knight. However, I can't yet give you mine answered. May I ask why? This matter concerns my sire. We must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Noth grow bold even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ha! Fear not, knight. Thou shalt have mine answer within thy lifetime. So soon, my humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith. Until we meet again. Given the circumstances, I would say that went rather well. To be frank, I am surprised our proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take the opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fear for me now. Well, if you have no further need of our services, we shall continue on to Shalayan We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. Then I pray your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was. And thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alferno. I only hope the fates will not hold you to your world. Alright. So it would seem we have time to greet this scholar. After all, how delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she's privy to some new investigation technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Yostola in Idleshower. Ugh. Sup? Kara, 'tis good to see you. I confess I had assumed your business in Enix Rhine would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidonir go well? As well as can be expected, she must discuss Sir Elmeric's proposal with Ragsberg Gear, of course, but she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What of the Shalian guests? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside and on Front Bridge. We should be on our way. Shit. Ah, shit. Where is it? Oh, I'm so stupid. Bam, 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 bam.
I'm terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kryl, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, miss. And who is that I spy but young Alpha No Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Kryl and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Kryl.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best you explain your plan to her in person.
I think I like this new character. Granted, I've already seen this character many of times, but I just haven't properly known her. So yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Son of a bitch. Fuck off. Thank you. Oops. There we go. You did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? Wait, let's see her interaction. Oh, that's cute. You know how she can be. If Kryl does not meet with her approval, then that will be that. How about you? Oh, who am I kidding? It'll be fortunate if she does not mistake me for my sister again. Ooh. I have heard many stories of Master Matoya, some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured, they all are true this way, and have care where you tread.
Oh. Is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Kryl, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldessian, you say? Oh, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Kryl, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do. Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the signs of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance. But never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even. The traces of which serve to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin. From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al. It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Alright, let's teleport to. Oops, that's not what I want. I want Tailfeather. I really like the interactions with the characters. I really like Kral. I really like Matoya. Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instincts would be to seek out signs of civilization. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet, even had Thancred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled upon his trail. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as a isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly. Do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals. Fear not, Kral. I have already prepared several sketches of Thancred for that very purpose. This is impressive. You drew him from memory? A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. Y'shtola and I will inquire at the outlying encampments, while Akira and Cryo question the residents of Tailfeather. Anyways, well, hell, we shall regroup near Loth as Vath and share our findings. Assuming there are no objections, let us be about it. Estella. My, he certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawings for hours to impress young ladies. Anyways, we had best get started. Find me when you've finished making your rounds. Oh, he was one of those boys. That's funny. What are we sitting around for? There's chocobos just begging to be hunted. Oops. There you go. Searching for a friend of yours? Let's have a look then. No, ain't seen him around, sorry. What's that you've got there? A sketch? Can't say. I know that the face, you say he's something of a warrior. I heard a tale the other day about a Herorian vagabond who brought down a Bandersnatch by himself and with style. Way they tell it, he was dancing with the beast like it was the ballet, but of the bleeding ball. Sounds like your man? Could be. A Hyrian man? We're not exactly where, you know. Could you be more specific? There we go. I did spy this one bloke a while back. Didn't get a good look at his face, but it could have been him. This was beyond the forest, as I recall, along the river to the west of Tailfeather. I remember thinking he wasn't much of a hunter. The lad was making no efforts to cover his trails. See that, and he was carrying an axe instead of a bow. All right. Yeah, there you are, Crow. Finished? In that case, I think we've learned everything we can here. Let's see what the others have found out. Oopsies. My apologies for our late arrival. We thought it wise to question as many hunters as we could. Many have made camp in inaccessible locations, ideal for hunting game, not so receiving visitors. Nevertheless, our time proved well spent. There have been countless sightings of an exceptionally capable Heron hunter with whom no one is familiar. Though not a chance to see the man's face, his height and build match Thancred's description, as does his fighting prowess. So you have heard the same tales. Be that as it may, we yet want for conclusive proof. Mayhap this is unrelatable, but I heard a curious tale regarding a Vath trader. He came to Tailfeather in search of garment fit for a man of refinement, which seemed a rather curious description for one of his kind. You are implying that Thancred sent a wrath to the market in his stead. Why would he not go himself? Well, if you recall, you yourself emerged from the livestream as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never forget. Is it now? Well, I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. It stands to reason that Thancred found himself in the same predicament. In any case, if he had dealings with the Wrath, they would be able to tell us, no? Quite right, Krile. Quite right. I'll knock the shit out of you so you can forget about that. Anyways, let's continue in the next episode. Thanks for joining me, and see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.